I don't think we realized what Zack Baun just confirmed, as the Eagles linebacker dropped a massive hint of Vic Fangio's defensive upgrades for 2026. Plus, a ridiculous trade package for Jalen Carter is floating around. Cooper DeJean speaks on his switch to safety, and 3 former Eagles take shots at the Birds. And Thomas Mott, this is the Thomas Mott Show. For whatever reason, the past couple of days in Philadelphia were officially take shots at your former team day because 3 ex-Eagles, not one, literally 3, all took pretty vocal shots at the Birds in the lamest way possible. And yet, that is not the biggest story. We'll get to that. The biggest story centers around Zack Baun and the Philadelphia Eagle defense. Because despite all the focus this offseason being on either new veteran additions like Jonathan Grenard and McMullen, or new faces in general like Uwer Bernard, the real meat and potatoes of Vic Fangio's unit is going to be these savvy veterans. And I think a lot of us, including myself, seem to have missed one of those vets in Zack Baun, telling the media during minicamp just the other week that year 3 of Vic Fangio is a whole different animal than anything we've seen in the first 2.
I feel like he's taking things to the next level this year in terms of he knows we're comfortable and we know our scheme and what he knows us and he knows what we're capable of from a knowledge aspect. So I think it's cool that he, even within his own scheme, he continues to develop and tweak and change, and especially to the personnel.
Also, over the weekend, we officially hit 118,000 subs, meaning the signed Drew Makuba mini helmet giveaway has officially begun. So if you want to enter it, drop a like. Be sure to comment Makuba down below. If you have a hype, leave one of those. Helps out the channel. I got this one at Whatnot. It is incredible. On my next video, one of you guys is going to win it. Now, what Baun just said, I think should strike fear into every single NFL team across the league. The idea of Vic Fangio taking this defense to the next level doesn't really seem possible. This was already a unit in 2025 that was number 5 overall as a whole, and top 10 in passing yards allowed per game, points per game, and rush defense, which included that incredible 5-game stretch to finish the season where the most points they gave up was 22 to the Chargers in overtime. That was the game where they turned the ball over a ton on offense, and the defense kept them alive until the very end. Personally, I already thought the Bird defense this year would probably be a top 5 unit just because you have the addition of McMullen on the outside, replacing Adoree Jackson, and also Jonathan Grenard. But now if you take both of those brand new additions, and now you have, Vic Fangio apparently spicing things up a little bit, taking the defensive play calls to the next level, this is going to be a top 3 unit. I'm very, very confident we're looking at a top 3 defensive unit in 2026. And then, of course, just from a Baun perspective, I do think we underappreciated him, at least I did a little bit in 2025, mainly because he was coming off an all-pro, unreal season in 2024. And while he didn't actually reach those numbers once again, he was still, by every single measure, a top 5 linebacker in the NFL. And despite being 1 year of age older, he still thinks there's a ton he can improve on to get better in 2026. And if he does, it'll be all-pro Baun once again.
Yeah, obviously a lot, and I've grown a lot as a player, especially in this scheme. But learning where I can make plays, where are the weaknesses of the defense, who's dropping where, who to communicate to. If communication needs to go from a safety down to an outside backer, if it's not clear or I don't hear it, I'll make sure the D-line gets that communication. So being able to implement myself in ways that is outside of my position in my realm is really been cool.
There's a real argument that Zack Baun is the best player on the entire Bird defense, and yet we talk about Jalen Carter and Jalen Hunt and Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell, and yet he is the captain, he's the anchor, and he has been incredible the past 2 years. If he gets a little bit better, stays healthy, obviously, and then, of course, the defense gets better as well, again, good luck. This defense was already going to be great. It's looking like it's going to be absolutely unstoppable in 2026. Also, I want to give a massive shout out to the sponsor of this video, Whatnot. Whatnot has really captured the thrill of bargain hunting. Think of it like live streaming meets live auctions with a social media twist. It's the #1 live streaming shopping app where you can score all sorts of stuff from sports cards to vintage clothing to signed memorabilia and a whole bunch more. Literally, whatever you're into, you can find on here because they have over 100 categories and it's super easy. Let me show you. First off, you can simply buy a ton of different items from local businesses and independent sellers like, for example, right here, the signed Drew Makuba mini helmet that I got a couple of days ago. But they also have a ton of items that are not just Philadelphia Eagles stuff, like you see here. Watches to sneakers and a whole lot more. And that to me is the best part about Whatnot because the live auction, it's super fun. It's a community. You're going back and forth with the actual host, talking to people on the actual screen, and still winning some pretty cool stuff. And right now, you can get $15 off any purchase on the app, literally anything. You either use my promo code or my link down below in the description box. And on top of that, if you actually follow me on Whatnot using the QR code or again, the link down below in the description box, you are automatically entered to win $500 in Whatnot credit. And you can easily use that credit to get, for example, how about the signed Jason Kelce jersey you see right here? The winner will be picked in exactly 1 month, so go ahead, use my link, use my QR code, sign up, get your $15 off, try Whatnot. I love it. I think you guys will too. But of course, it's not just Baun, obviously. I'm also expecting some huge things from Cooper DeJean in year 3 of Vic Fangio's system. And apparently he is too, as the Exciting Mike's boys were back for their first podcast of the offseason since one of them went to Houston, RIP Reed Blankenship, and DeJean did confirm what we've been hearing all offseason long. He's been playing a ton of safety so far at OTAs and minicamp.
Who's going to take Reed's spot at safety this year?
I heard you're getting some reps back there, though.
I have been taking some reps back there at safety in our base
Make
defense.
sure I write this down.
Yeah, write it down. Share it to the world. Obviously, it's a lot different than playing corner. And we got different rules, as you know. Within the two safeties, the safety's got to be able to, work together. But it's been a challenge, But
y'all got a good room, though. Y'all got a really good room.
We got some good coaches, some good guys in our room. So they've been helping me a lot.
I do think if there's one area DeJean can definitely help out while playing safety now in base packages, it's stopping the run on first downs. As even when he bounced between outside cornerback and nickel in base looks last year, he was a huge force. I mean, a serious force inside the box. And shifting him more to the center field spot, it's only going to help his vision and downhill playmaking abilities. He is going to be absolutely incredible. Something Baun also talked about during his press conference, the follow-up to DeJean's All-Pro year in 2025 could be even better in 2026.
He's working, he's grinding, he's doing his best because when you're at your best, when you're coming off a Pro Bowl year, an All-Pro year, you have to do your best to. You have to try even harder the following year. So he's working his tail off to be better, which is crazy to think about.
Now, staying with the defense, but moving over to Jalen Carter, and you might have seen a lot of Jalen Carter and trade headlines the past 72 hours, and in typical fashion on this show, I dig a deep dive into it, and it turns out those are all based on nothing. As for example, this is the actual report. You've probably seen it. Fox Sports suggesting the other day the 49ers could offer 2 firsts and a third for Jalen Carter, which on the surface would be a massive haul, but what do you know? There's no actual reporting here. What a surprise. It's just Fox Sports suggesting the package if Philadelphia and Jalen Carter can't reach an extension anytime soon. And that's typical, as you know, for the offseason, suggesting trades that don't have any reporting behind it. But just off the bat here, let's just play with it for a second. Why would the Eagles trade Jalen Carter to the 49ers of all teams? If it ever got to that point, I don't think it will, but if it ever did, Philadelphia and Howie Roseman would never trade the breadman to an NFC team. Mark my words, he would go to the AFC and the AFC alone. Although the main reason why all of this is for naught is because Philadelphia is trying to get a deal done, at least according to NFL Insider, or I should say Eagle Insider Derek Gunn, on The Fanatic late last week.
The Eagles are going to pay Jalen. They're not going to let Jalen go anywhere. I don't know if it's going to be before the season, during the season, after the season, but the Eagles are not about to let him go anywhere. They know he's a phenomenal talent, but they also want to make sure that they protect themselves. We know he's had some on-the-field and off-the-field issues, and they just want to protect themselves and see where his maturity level is. But there's no doubt about it that the Eagles' priorities is to pay him and get him paid. He's that type of player. He's a dynamic player. He's a game-changing player. But there's the other element of it as well, and they just want to make sure before they ink his name to a contract extension that he's where they want him to be, both on the field and off the field. But he will be paid by the Eagles unless something drastic happens between now and the time that they make that definitive decision.
Everything we're hearing is pointing to a breadman extension before training camp. Now, there is a chance it doesn't happen, or maybe it happens later on in training camp, or maybe they just push everything to 2027 offseason. All real possibilities. But what I tell you right now is trading Jalen Carter, that does not appear to be in the overall works. It would have to get very ugly and very messy with a very long holdout, and he's never going to sign with the Eagles ever again to even get close to that point. I think it's extended, and it's probably pretty soon. Now, moving on from current Eagles to former Eagles, as for whatever reason, as I mentioned at the top, the past 72 hours were all disgruntled ex-Birds complain in unison time, as not only did 1, but 3 voice their frustrations via podcast or social media. Starting with Bryce Huff complaining about Vic Fangio a few days earlier.
Before we even put on pads, it's like first week of camp, DC goes in the media is like, I don't think he can stop the run. I don't think he has what it takes to do the job right now.
Yeah.
And the fans ate it up. Like they just lost it.
Yeah.
And I, like me being like an undrafted guy, never having people talk to me about whatever, like fans were always supportive in New York. To go there and everybody's just like grilling me before we even put pads on, like, bro, what are we on right now? Like, that was just weird.
Yeah.
I don't know, bro. There's just a lot of things. Lack of communication between the interior and exterior rushers. Like, and being in New York, we had always been in the same room.
Yeah.
So we were always on this, like, we had, like, one mind out there. Like, we were out there freestyling, calling our own stunts, calling our own rushes, New York. And then to go there, like, zero chemistry, zero confluence between the exterior and interior.
Which to me was hilarious. Bryce Huff essentially went on a podcast, you saw it right there, and blamed everybody but himself, right? It was like, oh, the scheme was a problem. Vic Fangio was a problem. This was the problem. That was the problem. And not the fact that Bryce Huff got $51 million and basically did nothing. The guy could not stop the run, and he could only rush the passer. And even when he did rush the passer, he was not that good. But the best part of that overall clip was Bryce Huff trying to make it sound like, oh, the 2024 Eagle defensive line was so bad, and yet they still decided to bench me. When in reality, that's one of the best defensive lines and best defenses we've seen in the past 20 years. And you were so bad that you couldn't even actually get on the football field for the Super Bowl. Bryce, again, doesn't make you look very good. Plus the fact you even got traded to the 49ers, back with Robert Saleh, and you still retired a year later because you stunk. Yeah, I think he's a little bit wrong. But not to be outdone, then there was CJ Johnson, who, for whatever reason, cannot get over his former ex, it seems like, decided to take a little shot at Saquon Barkley, of all people, during a sit-down with The Athletic over the weekend, saying, quote, "I hope you're happy you see the band's getting broken up." Which, again, doesn't make any sense. The band is getting broken up. I guess he's talking about A.J. Brown, but we've all kind of wanted A.J. Brown gone, moved past that. We've done a lot of upgrades to replace A.J. Brown. Does he think that's a shot at Saquon Barkley? I've said before that CJ Johnson, based on what I was told, was a serious locker room headache, and he just keeps proving my point. Not only does he keep coming out here and running his mouth about the team that he apparently wanted to stay with, but he now has been cut by the Texans after Philly traded him, and then the Bears did not want to re-sign him, and now we'll see how long he lasts with the Buffalo Bills. I appreciate what Gardner Johnson did in 2022 and 2024 with the Philadelphia Eagles, but I think a lot of fans try to attribute the Eagles' defensive success solely to CJ Gardner Johnson. It's like that was the only reason we made a Super Bowl, and it's just not true. You could have replaced Gardner Johnson, and that defense was still going to go ahead and ball out. And Philadelphia looked at what he did in 2024 and said, it was really, really good, but it's not worth the headache. And then all these other teams gave him a try. It didn't work out. I am so glad we're done with him. And honestly, Buffalo, good luck. Which, speaking of see ya, good luck, then there's the third former Eagle who took a shot at Philadelphia, and that was guard Mekhi Becton, who actually liked the Gardner Johnson post on social media, again taking a shot at the Birds, seemingly indicating his frustrations with maybe not being re-signed by Philadelphia so far this offseason. And this also sparked a debate on social media the past 24 hours of Bird fans saying you gotta re-sign Mekhi Becton because he's still a free agent and you need help on the interior offensive line. But honestly, I'm starting to disagree. Like, A, no one else really seems to want him, which is not a good sign at all. And B, Philadelphia spent a lot of draft picks the past 2 off seasons adding talent to the offensive line. I personally would rather roll with the young guys like, say, a Markel Bell than bring back Becton after what was, by every single metric, a horrific season for the Chargers. Maybe I'll regret that, maybe I won't, but liking that Gardner Johnson tweet on social media, not a very good sign if he wants to sign back with the Birds. I think Philadelphia took a look and said, you know what, we had one good year, we're out, let's go ahead and move on. Finally, last but not least, quick news here, both Eagles single game tickets will go on sale tomorrow, according to reports, Tuesday, June 30th at 10 a.m. for those wanting to head to the link or an away game to watch your Birds in person. But also, Ticketmaster will have the Eagles' only public practice tickets at the exact same time tomorrow for $15 a pop, which apparently that open practice date is August 25th. They just set it for 6 p.m. If you have not been to that, it is one of the best Eagle values for your bucks. $15. Go to the link, see all your favorite players practice, get some autographs. I highly recommend it. Again, tickets go on sale tomorrow. Now, of course, plenty more stuff happening the next couple of days and weeks. A lighter schedule, as you've seen, 2 to 3 videos per week, sometimes 2. It all depends on news, right? If there's news, we'll do a show. If there's not news, I'm not going to force something. I don't want to just throw down garbage down y'all's throats. I want to make sure that when I do an update here before training camp, it's something that actually matters. So I hope you guys appreciate that. Drop a like. Be sure to go ahead and leave a hype and a comment Makuba because we're going to give this away on our next video later this week. Thomas Mott hanging out here on a Monday. This has been the Thomas Mott Show.